We are here today to talk about Book of Boba Fett. And I'm going to start off by saying the reason I didn't really want to talk about Bad Batch is the same reason we're talking about this now, I guess. It's just there wasn't much to say with Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it wasn't horrible or bad or anything, but it's like the series was done. I remember you were like, do you want to do an episode? And I was like, not really, because I just didn't have anything to say.
Yeah, it's like it just felt like more Clone Wars. Felt pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like but like other than that, like you said, not much really happens.
Yeah, it was more. I mean, I don't even want to say it was bad because I mean there was a lot of good character stuff, but it was
Yeah.
so small scale and
It could not even have been a Star Wars story and like it had been good.
yeah.
You know.
But again, I just didn't have anything strong, positive or negative to say about it. But on the contrary, this, however,
Yeah.
so I don't know anything what you think about the show. So you go ahead and take the
Yeah.
reins.
Well, I've I started the show really late. It was like 4 or 5 episodes in when I started watching
Oh,
it
that's right. Yeah.
because I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it.
Oh.
I mean, I was gonna watch it, but I wasn't really looking forward to it because I'm not like a Boba Fett super fan. I think he's cool, but it's like, that's it. That's the extent of it. I just think he's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, how like pretty much from the get go, it's like, okay, he's in the Sarlacc pit. Cut. We're gonna have him now back to current day. Then we're gonna cut back to where he was captured by Tusken Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna cut back to current. And it's like, what is going? Like, okay, I would like to know the backstory, but please just give it to me.
Yes. So I will agree. Overall, I don't like it.
That is not my one complaint with it.
Okay.
That is just a complaint.
It's this a complaint.
That's a complaint. There are many complaints with this. I'm starting from the beginning.
Yeah. Just prepare yourselves. This is probably going to be a more negative episode
Oh.
of this show. So I too am not super crazy about it. Putting it lightly, I'll say I don't like it, but it's not like a hard dislike, like maybe like Last Jedi or something where it's like, yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But I say my biggest problem, if I did one big complaint, it's that the show doesn't have a story. So going to what you said about cutting back and forth, the stuff in the past with the Tusken Raiders, I think is fine. It's good. It's actually giving Boba Fett some type of characterization.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go just by the movies, he literally doesn't do much. I'm sorry, John, but like he just captures Han and then he dies. And then Clone Wars kind of gives him some stuff, but this is actually making him a bit more sympathetic, which you would have to do, making a show centered around him. He can't just be like this cold, ruthless, badass guy.
Yeah.
So the Tusken Raider stuff is fine. But then you cut to present day and there's no story. Nothing happens. There's
the story is Boba Fett walks somewhere with Fennec. Someone disrespects him for being a fat old man, and then he goes, "Well, I won't disrespect you because I'm a respectful person." And then they go, "Well, fuck you, idiot," and they take advantage of him, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, okay, so people were complaining about the very first episode. They're like, nothing happens. And I'm like, what? I always save judgment to the very end. And I'm like, maybe it has to start this way. You have to show all this backstory and cutting back and forth. And I was under the impression that this Tusken Raider backstory was somehow going to play into the finale. Like maybe the Tusken Raiders, like a separate camp, would come and help. Or, something along the lines of... something where it was going to play into it, and it never did. It's literally just set up for how he gets to the Mandalorian. And I thought, well, why wasn't the show just that? You end it right where the Mandalorian, like right when he sees Mando fly off with his armor. Why does this have to take place further other than you can show Baby Yoda?
No,
we'll get into that later, but
oh my god, I think we should just go chronologically and pick out what we don't like about it.
Okay.
Maybe because like I feel like there's like the problems evolve as the series go on, because I feel like at first it started off really slow, but then I thought it was getting at least a little bit better each episode, with like some hiccups here and there.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was getting better at least a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so like going off of that, I did enjoy the second episode more, but again, that was I think that was the one that had like the majority of like the backstory. I think that was the one with the train. I think. I've only seen this one time through, and I don't really want to watch it again.
I don't either. Yeah,
Unless it was like
say we have it on right now, but like even watching this now, I'm like, you can turn it off if you want.
Yeah,
that's
turn
fine.
on Force Awakens or something, which we do like. Where was I going? So there was somebody just before we go. Actually, no, it could fit in. So yeah, there's the whole episode with the Tusken Raiders, and then I kept thinking like, okay, the Pikes are here, and it's going to be building towards something. And then I think the third episode ended with like, okay, the Pikes are invading Tatooine. They're going to move spice. And I was like, okay, so the next episode we're going to get more into that. Maybe the Pikes are working for someone. Because, I mean, at least to me, in every comic book I've read and every Clone Wars episode I've seen, the Pikes have been someone's bitch. Like, they're always, like, working for Darth Maul or Crimson Dawn, which, again, Darth Maul. But, like, you know, they're never on their own. They're, like, not enough of a threat. But then you go to this, and it turns out, like, that is just the threat. Is just the Pikes are here. And that third episode ends with, like, okay, the Pikes are coming. And the fourth episode ends, it's the same exact, like, the Pikes are coming. Then you get to the fifth episode, completely different. It's Mando related, and it ends the same way. Pikes are coming, and I'm like, that's not stakes.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That there's you know.
Yeah. The Pikes are coming. That's not a big enough threat.
Yeah.
What did they do to make them a bigger threat, Kevin? They put Cad Bane in there. They put Cad Bane and giant droidicas in there.
Oh, well, those were neat. But like, it's just like okay.
It's like so we know the Pikes. We know what they're capable of pretty much. We've seen them in Clone Wars. We've seen them in Rebels, right? Did we see them in Rebels?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
I don't know.
But either way, we've seen the Pikes before, like you said.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen them in Solo, at least. I know that. That might be what you're thinking of.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm thinking of. But, I don't know. I feel like I just feel like they didn't know what the Pikes were going to do. Because, like, the Pikes are already there, right? Like, why don't they just go and shoot up Boba Fett? or like, for instance, when Cad Bane goes to tell him, you need to leave. And he goes, no. Why didn't Cad Bane go, okay, pew, pew, pew. Why did he leave? To let the Pikes come and shoot them, to only come back and then try and shoot Boba Fett later.
I don't know. There's so many. Okay, I got like 50 things going through
I know.
my mind right now.
I know. There's so many things to like.
I forgot I did not. I was thinking I was going to be the more positive, but I think we're on the same level now. Actually thinking about this. And it sucks because I really like Tamora Morrison as an actor. He's got a great voice. He's really good as this character. They just don't give him jack shit to do in this. He's just, again, the backstory is great. But then it's like it cuts to the future and like nothing happens. So it makes me wonder, why is this shit even happening other than you just really want to explain what happened in like the time period between episode 6 and Mando season 2.
Yeah. He's just walking from place to place in Mos Espa, which could be cool. Like, I was thinking, like, oh, okay, like, I'm sick of Tatooine, right?
Oh, dude, you have no idea.
But if they just, like, really, like, oh, Tatooine is developing into its own, like town, like, planet. It's gonna have like towns and stuff. Like,
it's actually evolving.
Like, you saw the cantina looked like more futuristic, and you can even tell like throughout the movies, like it was like a grubby human place, and they had like a bunch of robots there, and the fucking sequels, and then now they have like plants, and it looks like rich people hang out there. It's like, oh, that could be cool. Like, Boba's like, oh, I'm gonna be the interim mayor instead. I'm gonna make something other than just, oh, bad guy here, we have to protect town, shoot. And it's like, that's the entire crux of the show.
It's kind of like a shitty Western. I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, it is really just that. This is, okay, it's just something, because the Tusken Raiders are on screen right now. This is something, I don't know if we've touched on this before, because we haven't talked about Mando yet on an episode, but...
That's right.
I don't know how I feel about them making Tusken Raiders instead of, because it's kind of neat to see a different side, and I'm not going to say all the tribes are the same, but going just by the movies, they are like these horrible people that will just like steal your loved ones and beat them within an inch of their life, and like just kidnap them for no reason, and then they will also just assault you in the desert for no reason and like beat up your droid. And then in this and Mando, they're almost treated like indigenous people. And on the one hand, it makes Anakin's episode 2 like massacre more sad.
I was just gonna say, it's like, did Anakin just kill like a bunch of indigenous people?
Yeah.
Or like, did he kill like these raiderous like
that? Yes.
Like disgusting like murderous like people. It's like, cause they did beat his mom within an inch of her life, and then you. I'm thinking that when watching these kinds of scenes with the Tusken Raiders, like, oh, okay, they're beating him up. They're going to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they just walk away.
Yeah, and it's like...
Oh, all right. I don't know.
Are they trying to, like, train him to become one of them? It's like...
I think he was just a prisoner at that point, but then after he proved himself, they were like, oh, we'll make you part of the tribe. I don't know. I just don't like that there's, like, conflicting... like I have conflicting feelings on that, when before it was much more clear cut as like, yeah, they're bad, because now it's like, well, like you just said, like, did Anakin kill these innocent people, or is he is he in the right for doing so, because we've seen them be horrible?
Yeah, like,
it's weird.
Like they could just retcon and say that there's different tribes, and like this tribe doesn't deal with like slaves and stuff, and it's like,
yeah,
but like,
I don't know. It just feels weird.
It does.
When this is like Boba Fett's family.
Yeah, it's hard when you're watching this scene when everyone's burning corpses around, and you're like, yeah, but didn't they like do this to other people?
Yeah.
Like, didn't they do this same thing to many other like farmers or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think
like,
they even, Anakin's stepdad, the guy in like the hover wheelchair, I think they broke his leg. I think that was or like chopped off his leg. I think that's the explanation in the movie. I don't know off the top of my head, but I think, yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's a bit confusing. We could go on this. I was hoping, okay, let me restart. Unlike you when you found out, unlike you when you found out, you weren't really excited about the show. I wasn't either, especially when I found out it was going to replace Mando for like this year, or I guess last year is like the Star Wars show at the end of the year. But when I found out it said, the description was like Boba Fett's going to like explore the crime world and like the syndicate and all that, and like, I think that I was like, oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
because
it could be like focused on the Outer Rim.
Yes. Yeah, not just Tatooine, and you can focus on like what's Black Sun up to. We kind of know what the Hutts are up to in this, kind of. Mm-hmm. We see like those weird twins.
That was like one of the biggest upsets for me, because I'm like, oh, cool, Hutt twins. Yeah. The Hutts are going to be a main force in this.
Nah.
And they're like, Usaka Dika wa Boba Fett. All right, we're leaving.
Yeah, peace.
It's like,
you better leave too. Yeah. It's like, why are they scared of the Pikes?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
that's why I kept thinking.
Like, why would the Hutts be scared of the Pikes? Because obviously Jabba took care of this place. The Pikes would have taken it if Jabba was there anyway.
Yes.
So, like, why would they be scared now that Boba's there?
Yeah, I wanted to know more about, like, the power vacuum, because I think only a few of the books have touched on, like, the crime underworld post Return of the Jedi without the Empire. And it's only like right before Force Awakens, and then like just after. But I thought this was going to fully explore like what's everyone up to, like how is this going? Are they going to try and nothing?
Instead they introduce this guy.
And
what's his name? What's his fucking name?
Toots. I don't know. The Twi'lek mayor assistant. I don't actually. Does he have a name?
I don't know. But him and the lady who repairs like Mando's ship and gives him the Naboo fighter, literally are they are on par with like being the most annoying Star Wars characters for me.
Oh wow!
I can't stand them because they don't fit the tone of the show. they make me sick to my stomach.
Oh damn. Okay.
I'm not kidding. It's so uncomfortable and cringy. Like I'm like okay. I just don't like this kind of humor. It may just be my thing, but like, I just don't think it's funny, and I think it takes up way too much time. It goes on for far too long, and I'm like, just move on, please.
The one time I thought it worked was the last episode when he went out with like the list of what was it? It was like the negotiation things. Like, here's what we're gonna do, or here's my list of demands, and then he said nothing. And then he just kind of stood there, and then the Pike guy was like, "What the fuck are you talking?" I don't know. I thought that was a little funny.
Yeah,
not hilarious, but
I'm not
like,
saying like they should have removed him, but like done something with him other than make him just annoying and like he just prattles on.
You know, if he was a bit more snivelly, and maybe he was working with the Pikes directly or something like that, maybe he undercut the mayor. He saw an opportunity. I don't know.
That's the
I will say though, I do like, and I kind of wish they would start going more in this direction, is including characters and stuff from other sources, because Black Chrysanthemum, the Wookiee, he's from comics, and like I'm you know that's the kind of thing I kind of wish they had done in like Rise of Skywalker or some of the sequel movies, is make reading the other stuff like beneficial. Like we've talked about this before. It makes sense
why he was so cool. He didn't fit in the show.
Well, that's the thing, is like, you know, if you hadn't read the comics or anything, you're not missing anything. But like, as someone who has read that, like, I mean, he hasn't shown up in a while. But it's like you don't need to read that. But like, again, it's rewarding for me, because it's like I know who that is. I know his history. It's like, that's cool.
And like I said, I thought he was just cool, like to have like a big like angry Wookiee.
Yeah.
One who's not like I'm not cool. I am not nice like a fucking dog like Chewie is.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got knuckles that'll kill you.
Yeah, he took quite a beating. I thought that was cool. Just putting him in there. I want to save Cad Bane maybe for last. Do you want to go into like the Mando episodes, or have you talked about everything? Because that's episode 5.
Do you want to talk about the biker gang?
Oh, okay. That was distracting.
So first off, I was getting a tattoo earlier today. My tattoo artist is a big Star Wars fan, and he was telling me, he was like, "No, I like the idea of," because he didn't like Book of Boba Fett either.
Okay.
But he was like, "I like the idea of like them reintroducing like punk culture or something into Star Wars, like with like, you know, body modification being the robotic parts, like in our world being piercings and tattoos."
Yeah.
He's like, "That's a cool idea." He's like, "But it stood out and it looked like such shit that they dropped the ball."
It was just someone, because the guy who directed Spy Kids also was the showrunner and directed most of the episodes of this. And it felt very much like those like cartoony speeders.
Everything that I see about those. My god!
And that's the thing, is like the mod thing. I don't know if it's intentional, but that's directly a General Grievous thing. His whole thing was replacing his own body parts with the metal augmentation, because he thought he was going to be a superior warrior. Yeah. So I thought like, oh man, that'd be cool. But they never tie that in. They never say that that's why that is. Maybe they could have been like, they called themselves, instead of the mods, like the Grievous Acolytes, and they're like, yeah, he had the right idea, modifying your body and all that. Like, yeah, cool idea. It's just, again, I think they showed up in one episode, and then they showed up again in the finale, and it's like, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion of them. They are a little distracting, and I thought that speeder chase was kind of dumb.
The speeder chase. I forgot about this.
That's the
25 mile per hour speeder chase.
On their like little mopeds.
I hated those mopeds. Like they literally, like every time I saw them, I just went, ugh.
Yeah.
I was like, just like, I don't know, blow them up or something, or paint them black. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I feel bad for Ming-Na Wen, because I really, really like her as an actress. I mean, like, that's Mulan, you know?
Yeah,
that's the voice. She's a great actress. I don't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she's easily the best part of that.
Yeah, I like Fennec in everything that Fennec has been in, and especially this.
I don't...
But just like, not the show, just...
See, like, they don't give her anything to do, though.
Yeah.
She's just kind of there in Bad Batch, in Mando. In Mando, she was just a target. Like, I recently rewatched that episode and she's just a target, like that for them to take down, and then you think she's dead, and for whatever reason they bring her back. I don't know if it's because she's more of a high profile actress or what, but so yeah. So when the episode 4 ended, that was the one where he has the meeting with the crime families,
And then he says for like, hey, don't fight with the Pikes when they come here, right?
yeah, and then he's like, they're gonna do whatever they want,
Okay.
and so. And then he alludes to the Mandalorian next episode. And the way I thought it was going, so the episode starts out, you see Din Djarin fighting with the Darksaber, doing a bounty. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it makes enough sense. And
Oh, dude, all the Mando episode story beats are coming back to me now, and I'm just getting mad.
well, here's the thing. Like, I think it was a good episode, that and the other one. I think the 6th episode was my favorite out of this entire show. But again, it had nothing to do with Boba Fett. But like, so he finishes the bounty, and then I thought he was gonna get contacted by Boba Fett then. Like the bounty people are like, we got a mission for you. It's like from an old friend or something. It has nothing to do with Book of Boba Fett until the very end. It's just an episode of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it is so glaringly just like, for a minute, like I was like, did I switch off the show?
Yeah.
Like I was actually thinking like, okay, this is cool and all, but like, am I actually gonna see Boba Fett again this episode?
Yeah. I mean, people made the joke like that it was just they accidentally uploaded an episode of Mandalorian season 3 instead of Book of Boba Fett. And I mean, it's not bad. I like, again, it just feels like a season opener for Mando. like it's like they go and they show like what his little what are they called? His little Mandalorian sect is like.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called. The something owls, night owl, I don't know. But it's like showing them. Then they talk about what happened in Mando season 2. They talk about Bo-Katan, the Darksaber, what that means, and all that. And it's all good stuff. It's just not fucking Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Like
it's all good stuff. And then she goes, "All right, you can have the Darksaber. You can hang out with us. By the way, you ever taken your helmet off?"
Oh God, yeah.
And, like literally, like out of nowhere, and he's like, and she, okay, get the fuck out of here. It's like,
yeah,
it feels like it just happened for the sake of it needed to happen.
yeah.
Or, like they wanted it to happen. And it's like, why?
Yeah, and I like his new ship and all that, and it's nice. But I don't know.
Remember Naboo?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a neat little callback, and having the little droid from Jedi Fallen Order in there. That was another thing I really liked in the show. But again, it had nothing to do with the story.
Yeah, I was like, oh cool, I know that droid's from Fallen Order.
And giving Grogu all the like the choice at the end was kind of neat, but you knew that was coming. And
Okay. How do you feel about the choice he made? Because I have some choice thoughts on that.
I thought it was. Okay, I think it was way too early. That's my first thing. You just had that real emotional moment at the end of Mando season 2, and 2 episodes it gets undone,
Kevin,
and he's back with him. I'm like, what the
I literally,
fuck?
I was like, oh, so the fucking season finale of season 2 feels like nothing happened then.
Yeah.
It legit like just feels pointless for Grogu to go, okay, I'll leave you, I love you, and then he takes his helmet off and he's like, oh, it's him.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and he goes, oh, it's been like 2 weeks. I miss him.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I don't know. I thought what they were going to do, and I'm not saying this would have been better, but I thought that when Mando and all the other Mandalorians were going to go and retake Mandalore, I thought they were going to ask Luke for help. Luke was going to bring along Grogu, and then, he was going to say, like, I can only teach him so much. I think he'd be better off with you, or something like that. And then maybe he can allude to having Ben Solo as a student in the future, or something like that. I don't know.
See, that would have been smart.
But but in this, it just feels so rushed. It's like Luke had him. We have like half an episode where he's teaching Grogu stuff. Where he's like, oh, I'm helping him remember. Which the Order 66 scene was really cool, though. I did enjoy that.
Yes.
More of that, please.
Literally the best stuff is all of the Mandalorian stuff that had nothing to do with Boba Fett. How do you feel about Cad Bane being introduced?
In this?
Yeah.
He should not have been at the stinger for the 6th episode out of 7 of a Boba Fett show if he is going to be the main villain I mean, for all intents and purposes, he is at the very end, you know? And I was talking about this with one of our friends, and the finale came out. He didn't like what happened to Cad Bane at the end either. And I'm like, what if this show had been Boba Fett takes the throne, and then Cad Bane with like a whole bunch of other bounty hunters decides, no, he wants the throne because he's going to rule it his way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have a flashback showing that unused Clone Wars episode when Boba was young, show their first duel. Then the ending can be mirroring that. Now that they're adults, they're at different places in their lives. Boba's got a different mentality now. They can have like a proper standoff or something, and the whole thing could be building towards, you know, Boba's not the guy he used to be, Cad Bane is, and their ideologies of how to actually rule clashing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to my tattoo artist. I was like, I like the idea of Boba Fett's past coming back to haunt him as he's trying to like turn over a new leaf and like peacefully rule this Hodunk town in the middle of like a sand planet. It's like I like the idea of like having like maybe even Bosk show up and be like, Boba, what's up? You got work for me? I want to kill stuff.
That would, if he was calling it a favor or something.
Yeah,
like,
and he can be like, no, I don't do that, boss. I don't do that anymore. And boss is like, you always do. You can't leave or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can run, but you can never leave.
Yeah, if you don't do this, someone is. And then he starts working with Cad Bane or something like that. And then Bosk maybe turns back to Boba's side.
That'd be a cool cameo that makes sense thematically. But adding a deputy to get shot the fuck up by Cad Bane. Like, I love this because he goes, this guy's got a gun and he's about to shoot me. Okay, I'm going to hit him in the shoulder. Real nice. And I'm going to turn to the deputy and fill him like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Like
fill him with bullets.
He's like, it's comical. Like, I love it. I just want to...
Again, had it been built up more properly, you given Cad Bane more screen time and really built up his relationship with Boba, something they haven't done, that would have been great.
Yeah.
You could have even brought back or digitally de-aged Daniel Logan, the guy who played Boba in Attack of the Clones, and have him play the Clone Wars version of Boba Fett. I don't know if that would have worked or not, or, you know, because, I mean, they're doing the de-aging with Luke. You could have done the same thing, just use his likeness.
Wait, was that de-aging?
Yeah, they like did a deep fake of a lookalike of Mark Hamill on the character, and then they actually used like a voice software of like Mark Hamill's voice clips and put it in there. That's why it was good for the most part, but there were some phrases that kind of sounded off. There's the Pikes doing their stuff. But yeah, so okay, my biggest problem with this, and I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite.
I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite
here, but I kind of want them to bring Cad Bane back because he went out like a fucking bitch, and
he did.
I think on our,
it's like the first thing I texted you after the finale, if you remember. I was like, really, they introduced him to get beat by a fat guy with a stick?
Yeah, now we can talk about this. I don't know if I said it earlier, but we held off on talking about this because I wanted our fresh reactions for this. But yeah, like, he just kind of talked shit to him, and then they had like a standoff, and then he like blasted him. He stood over him, and then like my biggest problem, I guess it's not even with him dying, but again, had they built up to it, I would have been fine. Because I was fine having him be dead before if Boba killed him in that Clone Wars episode. But the way they did it didn't make any sense to me, because he knocks Cad Bane down and he's got the gaffy stick, and then Cad Bane says to him, like, you're still the same cold-blooded killer. And then you think that the response to that would be like Boba finally being like, no, you know, I'm not the same person. I'm going to rule with respect,
he's
not
like,
fear.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like you're an old man, you know. Like you know, that was something else that could have played into was Cad Bane saying like, I worked with your father Django. You're trying to fill in his shoes. Like, you're not him. Like, you're never going to be as good as your dad. You know, kind of like taunting him like that. That would have been a cool angle to use too, because they knew each other. But instead of like doing that, Boba Fett just fucking stabs him. And I'm like, why? That goes against all of the development you just did. It makes no sense.
Boba Fett stabbing him, Boba Fett blowing people up with rockets, having his Rancor eat people. It's like,
yeah, it just like, this makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
And now people are like, no, he can't be dead, because if you notice, this little thing on his chest wasn't blinking before, but now it is, and people are like, oh, well, Toto 360, that little droid, is gonna come and pick him up, and I'm like, what's the point of even bringing him back now? Like, what is he gonna do? It'd be like a Mace Windu thing where it's like, oh, he wasn't dead. It's like, oh, well, great.
Like, this scene, I feel like we're supposed to feel something when he kills him, you know?
But again, if you're just watching the show or
It's
just
like,
watching
what
the
are you
live
supposed
action,
to feel?
Right, yeah. You don't know any of their history, and they haven't even really shown it ever.
Yeah, we know their history because we've looked for it.
Yes, yeah. I think the only time they've ever interacted with each other is in that unused Clone Wars episode.
Yeah, other than that, they've just been in the same circles.
Yes, yeah. And he knew his dad. And again, I only know that from the fucking episode. Just to wrap it up, I guess just over this conversation, I realized, like, yeah, I don't like this show. There are good moments, and I guess this is just how I feel about the sequels in a way. I'll take the good parts where I can get them, and there are some neat lore tidbits, but overall, I kind of feel about this the way I feel about the Rise of Skywalker, where it's like surface level. Actually, I might like Rise of Skywalker more, because on the surface level, there are things that I enjoy and I can get excited about, like, oh man, I really like that part. The moment I start thinking about it more deeply, I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't really like this that much.
This whole final battle, just like when they're running away from the droids and shooting at their shields for 45 minutes, it's like nothing, like they just keep shooting at it and nothing happens, and they just keep running and shooting at it and nothing happens, and then for a second, that one Wookiee, what's his name again?
Black Chrysanthemum, like he like breaks through for like a little bit, and then you're like, oh, are they gonna figure something out? No. No, nothing happens from that. They instead have the Rancor just beat the shit out of them until they explode, and it's like, okay. Also, the Rancor should be dead. Yeah.
Gets shot by like explosive giant lasers in the stomach like 10 times, and he's like, I'm gonna go sleep. It's like, I don't know. It just all felt like so unbelievable. Like it didn't. It just felt.
There's nothing clever about it.
Yeah, it just
nothing
felt
like
so boilerplate and lazy.
Maybe if Boba had used some type of Tusken Raider technique of like maybe blending in, like with like the wall or like the sand or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then they could like play into it something he learned from like that kid. I don't know. As it stands, do you remember? I actually texted John about this when we were watching it. Do you remember when Ahsoka and Anakin figured out a creative solution for the droideka shields in like the Clone Wars movie?
Yes.
Yeah, like it was like they just like slowly rolled the thing under it.
I had brought that up. I was like, do they forget how shields work?
Yeah.
You can move through them if you go slow enough.
Yeah.
And then they do it. And the best part, Kevin, when the shields are down, everyone stopped shooting. They all stopped shooting. And it's like, why? The shields are down. Shoot the fucking droid.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember.
I legit was watching it and just like holding my head like, this is so nonsensical, and like it's just so lazy.
Just to cap it off, if a 5 out of 10 is average, like middle of the road, not good nor bad, what would you give this show out of 10?
I feel like 2 is too low.
Ooh.
3 is too high.
You could go 2.5.
I'll say 2.5.
I'd probably.
No, I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I might give it a 3 as well, because if 4, it would be below average, and I think this show is slightly worse than that. I might have to give it a 3, where it's just bad, not horrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again.
It's not unwatchable, but yeah, it's not rewatchable either. I don't know. It just feels so aimless. Because they needed. I wonder if that was a Disney mandate. Thinking about that now, you need to have Grogu and Mando back for season 3 so we can sell more toys.
That's gonna be a toy. The ship with.
That's already
Grogu.
a Lego set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they already announced it. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyongbot.